All right. So my name is Michael DeLue. Today is episode 107 of Pull Up the Tape. Today is also Friday, October 21st, 2022. And I'm really, really excited to politic about sports today. Every single day that I wake up and I'm blessed to do this podcast I don't take it for granted, especially for so many different reasons. And now that, I have football, basketball, and European soccer all in full swing, I'm just really, really excited to be pumping out this podcast on a consistent basis and getting these YouTube videos out and just growing my brand and whatever the case may be, because Lord knows I have been the definition and model of inconsistent when it comes to this podcast. But nevertheless, I love this shit and I'm gonna always keep coming back. All right. So with that being said, I want to get into the first of the back-to-back doubleheader national televised games that happened yesterday. I'm gonna talk about the other one on my separate, because I'm a Laker fan, so I'll create separate videos for that. So the Bucks and the Sixers duked it out yesterday in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, and it was the Bucks' first game of the season, and it was the Sixers' second game of the season. And one of the things that really, really stood out to me in the Bucks' 90-88 win was just Giannis, man. It's crazy because every single time I watch Giannis play basketball, I'm just genuinely impressed. There's going to be multiple plays, and it's crazy because I feel like I've seen Giannis do so many incredible fucking things on the basketball court, but there's just, over the course of the game, there's going to be like 3 or 4 new things that I see him do that just wows me. Yesterday, confidently, grabbed the ball, got on an offensive rebound, knocked down a three. Hey, man, if Giannis and that three ball gets even like 3 or 4% better than last year, it's scary hours for the rest of the league. Even 3 or 4%, scary hours for the rest of the league, man. I'm telling you. And then it's funny because Stan Van Gundy made a great point in yesterday's game, and he addressed the way the Bucks roster is constructed and the way it's built. And he said that the Bucks' 3 best players, obviously Giannis, Chris Middleton, and Jrue Holiday, are elite players on both ends of the floor, which is what makes them so dangerous and which essentially what makes them contenders. Because if you look at all the other teams that you could honestly say are championship contenders or title contenders or whatever the case may be, how many teams could actually say that? If we look at the Warriors, right? You have Steph Curry, you have Klay Thompson, and you have, who would be the 3rd best player? Andrew Wiggins, right? Steph Curry is an amazing, amazing shooter, an amazing facilitator, and amazing on the offensive end of the floor. But in terms of defense, he's probably like above average. Klay Thompson, really, really good shooter, really good at ball movement and cutting, movement without the basketball. Offensively, he's a good player. Defensively, he's not the same defender he used to be. Andrew Wiggins, elite on both ends of the floor. That doesn't stack up to what the Bucks have. If I want to do who else is another really good team in the West? The Clippers. Paul George, Kawhi Leonard. Who would be their 3rd best player? Reggie Jackson. Reggie Jackson's not a really good defender. The Celtics. Obviously, Jason Tatum, Jaylen Brown, very, very good on both ends of the floor. Who would be their 3rd best player? Malcolm Brogdon, maybe. That doesn't. I'm not going to say it doesn't compare, but it's quite obvious why the Bucks are in the position they are. They're even without Chris Middleton, he was nursing a wrist injury. They still were able to beat one of the better teams in the Eastern Conference. Now, I'm not going to label the Sixers the best because I don't believe in the Sixers whatsoever. But overall, very good win by the Bucks. A team win because they also were missing another key part of the rotation in Pat Connaughton. He was nursing a calf injury. Jrue Holiday didn't play his best game offensively, but defensively he was locked in and ready for warfare. I want to get into the Sixers because I have a lot of shit to say about the Sixers, that good and bad. And honestly, I'm going to start with the good, and I'm going to actually give James Harden his praise and his props. I mean, I understand, regardless of however James Harden appears to look in the postseason or wherever the case may be, I understand at the end of the day, when this guy gets it going and he's firing on all cylinders, he's a top 10 player in the league. I don't care what anyone says. regardless of how bad he looked last season, or oh yeah, he dipped and he started to slow down and look a little whatever the case may be. He started off this season healthy, motivated, and in shape. As of right now, he's averaging 33 points, 8 assists, and 8 rebounds. Yesterday he had 31, 8, 9. Yesterday night he had 30. Like he's locked in. And one of the things that I'm seeing in James Harden's game that I like is his shot selection. Last season, all season long, James Harden had 25 makes, 25 2-point makes from outside the restricted area. So mid-range shots, James Harden made 25 of them all of last season, the entire season. All of last season, he made 25 shots outside of 25 2-point shots outside of the restricted area. So no dunks, no layups. This season, in just 2 games, he's already hit 12. This season, in just 2 games, he's already hit 12, which is what I love because it makes him less predictable. Okay, it's not either he's driving to the rim or he's taking a step back three. The more James Harden can, add back to his game and get back to the player that he used to be and, his prime years in Houston, the scarier and the better opportunity that the Sixers have to win something. I don't know, even the ceiling for the Sixers, in my opinion, is the Eastern Conference Finals. That's the absolute ceiling. So they need Joel Embiid and James Harden to be playing at elite level to even reach that because, man, yesterday Joel Embiid was fucking terrible. Like, I honestly think saying he was fucking terrible is very nice. He was 6 of 21 from the field, and he was so fucking bad that the Sixers fans started booing him. This man was so fucking bad, Sixers fans started booing him. I said he had 15 points. He had 11 in the first quarter. So do the math. The next 3 quarters, this dude had a total of 4 points. He wasn't motivated. He looked gassed. He looked out of it. He just looked. And then Joel Embiid is one of those guys where when he's like his body language, when things aren't going his way, look fucking terrible. The second through the fourth quarter, he was passive. He wasn't aggressive. He wasn't dominant. He wasn't looking for his shot. He wasn't assertive. He was checked out. He looked physically tired. As I watched the game, I was just like, you know what? This is bad. And then he just kept turning the fucking ball over. And as I'm watching, I honestly couldn't understand what the fuck was happening or why it was happening. And then, in the first game, he didn't have the strongest output as well. And it just got me to think, a lot of these pundits and a lot of these people are saying the Sixers are going to go far and go to Eastern Conference Finals or go to the finals simply because they think Joel Embiid is going to be dominant. Look, I'm going to say this crystal clear. If Joel Embiid is not averaging close to 30 and 15, the Sixers aren't going anywhere. Like at nowhere. I personally don't think they're going anywhere to begin with because of the next reason. But if he's not firing on all cylinders the entire season and healthy, they're not doing shit. Get the fuck out of here. If he's not playing at an MVP level like he was last year, and you've seen it last year, once he didn't win the MVP, the very next game he was fucking horrible. If he's not playing at an elite level, and not even elite level, if he's not playing at an MVP level, the Sixers are going nowhere, especially considering their fucking bench is terrible. Listen to this. Their bench, they got 13 points off their bench. 13 points from 2 dudes. What's his name? DeAnthony Melton and Daniel House. 13 points combined. Philly's bench is horrible. George Niang didn't get any minutes. I don't know why Montrezl Harrell doesn't play or whatever the case may be, but Philly's Shake Milton didn't get any minutes. Like they bench nothing, nowhere to be found, not consistent, whatever. And if you're going to be an elite team and a team vying for a championship, you have to have a decent bench you can rely on to score at least 25 points a game. 13, not good enough. And to be honest, the only person, because as I said, the reason why the bench is so important is because, I mean, I like Philly's the top of Philly's roster. Joel Embiid, James Harden, Tyrese Maxey, and Tobias Harris. Outside of that, nobody. And in the NBA, without a bench, you're not winning anything. Without a bench, you're not an elite team. And this is the last thing I'm gonna say because I just feel like it needs to be said. I'm not too impressed with Doc Rivers, honestly. And If Philly continue, okay, yeah, Philly's 0-2, but they've lost to two really good teams. If Philly starts to struggle or they don't start to hit their stride or whatever the case may be at any point of the season, I think at some point that the Sixers should look to replace him because I've never been a fan of Doc Rivers. I personally think he's a choke artist. I don't think he's a good coach at all. I feel like he just has been. I feel like Doc Rivers inherited a good team in 2008, which he obviously went, and even that championship run where they won the NBA championship in 2008 with the Celtics. Every single team that they played in the playoffs, no matter what seed they were, every single series except for the finals went to Game 7. How are you the number 1 seed? You're getting taken to 7 games by the 8 seed. You get taken to 7 games by LeBron James. You get taken to 7 games by the Detroit Pistons. And then you lose, and then you win. You beat the Lakers in 6. They damn near won 7 games every single series they played. And that's the only time he won a championship. And then since then, he's been gifted all these incredible rosters, all these talented rosters. Let me not say incredible. All these talented rosters and done absolutely nothing with them. He's not a good coach. He's dog shit, honestly. He's not a good coach. I've never seen the hype about him. Never thought he was a good coach. Hasn't even made the finals since then? Has he even made the finals since then? Oh yeah, they won another. They won again in 2010, but we beat that ass. But that's all I have to say about the Sixers. Like I said, I'm just really, 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 really happy that basketball is back. I love basketball. I'm just happy that everything is back now, and then ball can start rolling, just getting more consistent content out. Okay, so Cardinals beat the Saints yesterday on Thursday Night Football. I actually didn't watch this game because I was busy watching the Sixers game, and then I was busy watching the Bucks beat the Sixers, and I was busy watching my Lakers put up a decent fight against the Clippers, but ultimately we lost. So the Cardinals beat the Saints 42-34, and this is some key takeaways that I witnessed in the game and in the highlights, and a lot of the post game reactions that I watched is this is the Cardinals' biggest output as a team since 2017. I'm not going to say offensive output because they got 14 points spotted by their defense with the 2 pick sixes they got. And why this is really good, they got 28 points manufactured by the offense is because, they were coming off a game where they only scored 19 points and they were spotted 6 points by their defense. Kyler Murray, obviously, Kyler Murray looks like a much better quarterback with DeAndre Hopkins in the lineup. Like the numbers literally tell the story. With DeAndre Hopkins in the lineup, his passer rating is at, typically at mid-90s. Without DeAndre Hopkins in the lineup, his passer rating is typically mid-80s. Mid-90s with him in, mid-80s with him out. Big difference. And it's no secret that they have chemistry. It's no secret they have chemistry. And it showed in the first game because double-digit targets, which led to double-digit catches, which led to 100 yards. I mean, clearly the offense missed him, and clearly now that he's back, the offense can get closer to the ceiling, which is, in my opinion, maybe a top 5 to top 10 offense in the NFL. And then when they had Benjamin, shout out to Arizona State, Forks Up, Sun Devils, when he had him running the way he was running, I mean, the offense looks really, really good. I mean, and outside of DeAndre Hopkins, they have damn, what the fuck is his name? I'm forgetting that shit right now. 86. What is number 86 name? Oh, he played for the Eagles. Oh, fuck. What the fuck is his name? He was tight end for the Eagles. I don't know why the fuck I can't remember that shit right now. Is it Zach or Zach Ertz? There we go. They have him. I mean, Hollywood Brown is injured now, but they have a lot of capable receivers, and I mean, I think the Cardinals offense can be one of the better offenses in their division, which, I mean, their defense isn't the best, so they're going to rely on their offense to win a lot of games. So now that DeAndre Hopkins is back, it just changes the entire complexity of the game, of the offense. And they were in sync majority of the game, and then you obviously saw that translate into a lot of good things because, they are facing now different fronts now because, all right, DeAndre Hopkins is now on the field. They got to account for him, which they didn't have to for the first 6 weeks of the season. So, it's scary hours for the Cardinals offense now moving forward. And I want to say something about Cliff Kingsbury because there was a big, nowadays NFL stadiums, nothing gets unseen. Nowadays, nothing gets unseen. And the cameras on the sideline captured a spat or dispute with Cliff Kingsbury and Kyler Murray. And it just got me thinking, man. And it even was brought up when Cliff Kingsbury was first hired by the Cardinals. What exactly has Cliff Kingsbury done to warrant and earn a head coaching job? Because last I checked, before he got the Arizona Cardinals job, he was supposed to be the offensive coordinator for USC. And before that, he was the head coach. Listen to this. Cliff Kingsbury was the head coach of Texas Tech football team, Ray Raiders football team. Who was his quarterback for the entire time? Well, not entire time. Majority of the time that he was there, his quarterback was Patrick Mahomes, and he still somehow had a fucking losing record. You have Patrick Mahomes as your Patrick Mahomes that you see now was his quarterback in college, and he had a losing record with him. What does that tell you? But somehow, some way, he's qualified to be a head coach in the NFL. I don't think he's it, to be honest. And I think unless the only way the Cardinals are going to move forward and get the best out of Kyler Murray is by firing him. I don't think he's it. And I'm not one to, demand that someone be fired or someone lose their job, because I understand at a certain level, like, it's really money behind this, and, these are people's livelihood. I mean, this is how this man feeds his family, but honestly, he's not good at it. I don't think he's one of the top best 32 head coaches in football, period. Not even just the NFL, football, period. I think there are fucking college coaches that are better than him, that and have a better resume and have more of a reason and more of a claim to be a NFL head coach than he does. I just don't get it. This man had Patrick Mahomes as his college quarterback and somehow still had a losing record. Make that make sense. Let me talk about the Saints, because it just seems like the Saints' life after Drew Brees and Sean Payton is just going to keep getting rough and rough and rougher and rougher and rougher and rougher. It's just going to be rough and rough. I know a couple Saints fans, and oh man, this shit is not it. And one of the things I love comparing teams to companies. You know what I mean? Like, you see a company like Apple, right? Steve Jobs is no longer the CEO. I don't know who the CEO is now. Ball kept rolling. Success keeps coming in. We just gonna make it. Hey, like Ray Charles said, I'm gonna make it do what it do. You have TV shows or movies that, without a certain person, things keep rolling. You know what I mean? Like, the ball kept rolling. For example, the Fast and Furious franchise, right? Fast and Furious franchise. Paul Walker passes away. They bring in Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson. Ball keeps rolling. Keep the train moving, whatever the case may be. So the Saints, right? What the Saints are is the equivalent of a company that loses their CEO and loses their CFO, and then shit just crumbles. I've always said for a long time, and you can pull up the footage of this podcast, to be a good football team, you need a good GM, a good head coach, and a good quarterback. If you have those three good things, if you have those three things, you can be an elite team as long as you have those things in place. And we're starting to see what the Saints are like. I don't think people know. I don't know. Depending on how old you are and how long you've been a fan of football, you might not know this, but the Saints used to be terrible. The Saints didn't draft Drew Brees. They signed Drew Brees as a free agent in the 2005 offseason. After his rookie contract expired with San Diego, Drew Brees was drafted by San Diego Chargers the same year that they drafted Daniel Thomason. They had both of them. Drew Brees left, went to the Saints. The rest is history, right? So before Drew Brees came to the Saints were called the Aints because they ain't winning shit. They didn't win shit. They ain't won shit in a very, very long time. They were fucking terrible. They get Drew Brees. They get Sean Payton the same offseason. The rest is history, right? Drew Brees retires last year. Their first football season with Drew Brees not being the starting quarterback since 2005, right? 16 years, right? Jameis Winston Taysom Hill, whatever the case may be, they go 9-8, almost make the playoffs. And yeah, the next season, right? That first season was no Drew Brees. The next season is no Drew Brees and no Sean Payton. Sean Payton steps down. Dennis Allen, who I think is a terrible head coach. Last time he was a head coach was for the Oakland Raiders. He was terrible there. He gets hired by the Benson family. Now look what you have. 2-5. Having the Saints are horrible. At this point, it's quite obvious that, Sean Payton and Drew Brees masked how terrible the Saints as an organization are. You had you had a Hall of Fame head coach. You had a Hall of Fame quarterback. So obviously you're going to look good. You lose both, look what happens. Everything's crumbling. Offense looks like shit. Defense is whatever. They're at the bottom. They're going to be one of the worst teams in the NFL. Just look at them. Look at them. It's just bad all around. Offense looks better with Andy Dalton, but because in my opinion he's a much better quarterback than Jameis Winston. Always has been, always probably will be. But the interception killed the Saints, man. Interceptions killed the Saints. The turnovers killed them, but the play calling was just as bad. Like this is what I mean when in the NFL I feel like coaching matters so much more than in the NBA. And just watching the Saints and how they like the play, for example, the play call, right? Second half, the Saints defense makes two critical stops. Gets the offense extra possessions. One of those possessions, they take the ball, drive all the way down to the Cardinals 7. And on that drive, on second and third down, no Alvin Kamara on the field, no Taysom Hill on the field. And in goal line situations, those are your best players. Why are they not on the field in those situations? They go on to not score a touchdown on that drive, has to settle for 3. Part of why they fucking lost. It's not just the interceptions. Yes, the interceptions kill you, but play calling, especially situational football, if you're not able to do the right thing, call the right plays, execute in these situations, you're gonna lose. And that's what happened. Honestly, I mean, it's not and truthfully, this game, not the most important game in terms of like two really good teams, seeding, whatever the case may be. Both these teams are struggling right now. The Saints look fucking terrible. Man, who would have thought without Drew Brees and without Sean Payton, they'll look this fucking terrible. Fucking horrible. And the last thing I want to talk about is Christian McCaffrey. So it's been less than a week that, the Panthers put out inquiries and, letting all the other 31 teams in the NFL know that Christian McCaffrey is on the trading block. And yesterday night when I was at Chick-fil-A picking up my food, I got a notification that Christian McCaffrey was going to be traded to the San Francisco 49ers. And I was just like, wow, because in my opinion, I thought, the Bills should probably make a strong attempt at trying to get Christian McCaffrey, because I feel like that would have been like Thanos getting the fucking 5th ring. That would have been like Thanos getting the fucking time stone. But unfortunately, they didn't. I guess maybe they're content with having Zach Moss and Devin Singletary lead the rushing attack moving forward. I mean, because truthfully, they don't lead this shit. Josh Allen is the rushing attack. But Niners won the sweepstakes, and they're giving up a 2nd, 3rd, 4th round pick in the 2023 draft and a 5th round pick in next year in the 2024 NFL draft. And pretty much what this tells me is the Niners are going all in on trying to make a Super Bowl happen this year. And I know Niner fans are probably going to be really, really happy about this, but no one's probably going to be more happy than Deebo Samuel, because he's like, fuck it. Finally, I don't have to fucking play running back. But I personally am not in love with that shit. I mean, Christian McCaffrey is my fantasy receiver, and fantasy running back, and that's why my team is 2-4. I'm running all my players are running from the fucking grind. Christian McCaffrey, as of right now, is ranked the 12th best fantasy running back. But here's the thing: fully healthy, Christian McCaffrey is, in my opinion, the best running back in the NFL in terms of like his skill set and everything that he's able to do. But I just don't okay, first of all, you've already traded. So you already traded. They don't have a first round pick. The 49ers don't have a first round pick in this upcoming draft because they traded those picks to get Trey Lance. They don't have a first round pick in this year's draft. They don't have a first round pick they don't have a first round pick in this upcoming draft. They don't have a first round pick in the next upcoming draft. And I believe they don't have a first round pick in they don't have their first or second round pick in 2024. So they already went all in on Trey Lance. We see how that's working out. The dude's injured. They gave up the rest. They essentially gave up the rest of their 2023 draft to get Christian McCaffrey. So I understand, like if I was a GM, I understand being aggressive, taking risks when you need to, but man, they have to be calculated. They have to be smart. Like I just don't understand. I can't understand trading for a running back, let alone one that hasn't been healthy for the past couple seasons. Like Christian McCaffrey missed the majority of bro. There was a certain point last season where people were comparing Christian McCaffrey to Anthony Davis. We know what the fuck Anthony Davis is like on the NBA hardwood. So for him to be compared to Christian McCaffrey, that's kind of crazy. And that's who the 49ers decided to trade. And in my opinion, I just feel like, I don't know, the 49ers offense just, I don't see how, like, specifically in that position in Kyle Shanahan. And what I feel like is personally, it just brings more pressure onto Kyle Shanahan because, like, all right, look, there's only X amount of window you have to win a championship, right? And they already went all in to get Trey Lance because let's keep it 1,000%. They don't want Jimmy G as their quarterback. They wanted Trey Lance as a quarterback. In a perfect world, Trey Lance would be the starting quarterback, and Trey Lance would be putting up numbers, the numbers that they like, that would be leading the team in the right direction because they seen from a while back that Jimmy G is handcuffing the offense. There's only so much he can do. Just look at his fucking statistics in the playoffs. There's only so much the nigga can really do. So, they going aggressive for the quarterback, I completely understand. Because a top 10 quarterback or a competent quarterback or a quarterback that can actually win with his arm, you can't put a fucking price tag on it. Like, just even somebody that's at the lower end in terms of, like, the value. Look, Matthew Stafford comes to the Rams. They win the Super Bowl. Mind you, obviously they had a very, very good overall team, but does that happen with Jared Goff? Probably not. So I understand going all in on a quarterback. You should, rightfully so. Look what Denver did. Went all in on Russ, thinking that whatever the case may be. I don't fault that. But going all in on a running back, I mean, like we all know running backs have the shortest lifespan in the NFL. And then going all in on one that, isn't always available, whatever the case may be. But who knows? I mean, he's played all the games this season. But me personally, only time will tell. But I'm not in love with the trade. It is what it is. I mean, I don't think it really takes the 49ers. I mean, maybe it takes but things change if he remains fully healthy. If he remains fully healthy, and you can and Kyle Shanahan can scheme some amazing, whatever the case may be, plays and it really takes the offense to the next level, I guess it's worth it. But, I mean, something has to come out of it. Like, they can't just go to the NFC Championship again and no, that they have to win a Super Bowl. They don't have any – look, and then also his money. He's on a big contract. They're not going to have much cap flexibility because with him on the roster, that's now 7 players that they're going to be paying double-digit millions. 7 players. That's a lot of fucking money. 7. Trent Williams, Jimmy G, George Kittle, Nick Bosa, what's his name? Deebo Samuel. There's some guys on the offense that are getting paid big bucks on both sides of the ball, honestly. So, hey, they have, and rightfully so. I mean, now is the best time to take a swing at it because me personally, I don't believe in Philly. I don't think Philly's going to the Super Bowl. And the rest after Philly, the rest of the teams that are after Philly in terms of like the hierarchy for the NFC, not really the strongest teams either. Like Minnesota's 5-1, the Cowboys are 4-2, the Packers aren't where they need to be, the Buccaneers aren't where they need to be. So I mean, I understand the thought process behind what they're doing, but me personally, too risky. I'm not doing that shit. Not doing it. But with that being said, that concludes episode 107 of Pull Up the Tape. I'm going to always say this shit because this is genuinely how I feel, man. Long live my brother. I miss you every single day. Long live Kobe. Long live Gigi. Long live Mac Miller. Long live Nipsey. Long live Pop Smoke. Whoa. Long live Vaughn. Rest in peace. Oh, rest in peace, up, man. Hey, man, rest in peace to all those people, man. I don't like saying rest in peace. I don't even know why the fuck I just said rest in peace. Long live, because long live their legacy, long live the impact that they made on the earth and on individuals that are still here. Free Chef G, free Pooh Shiesty, man. I'm out this bitch. It's really comeback season, man. Hey, this is going to be a consistent thing. I think the most consistent I've ever been with my podcast, probably like 4 or 5 episodes in a row, whatever the case may be. We're going to change that. Culture shift is on the way. Man, with that being said, I'm out this bitch. Honestly, hey, stay tuned. It's comeback season.